The Tuesday, August 30th, 2022 special meeting of the Paris City Council is hereby called to order at 5:30 p.m. For the purpose of this meeting, there is a quorum present. Item number 2 is the Citizens Forum. Persons wishing to address the council must limit their presentation to no more than 2 minutes. Unless an item is posted on the agenda, the Texas Open Meetings Act prohibits the council from responding to any comments other than to refer the matter to a future agenda, to an existing policy, or to a staff person with specific factual information. Claims against the city council members or employees, as well as individual personal appeals, are not appropriate for Citizens Forum. If necessary, the City Council may convene into executive session under Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code regarding any item on this agenda. The public forum is now open. Anyone wishing to address the council, please come forward and state your name and address.
If I can add real quick for everyone, if you're here to give a presentation, there'll be a next agenda item for those presentations. And so,
Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Julia Trigg Crawford. My address is 690 County Road, 37500 in Sumner. I appreciate your time today. I am here to offer an apology to the City Council and to the city staff. I dropped the ball. I am the chairman of Keep Paris Beautiful, and for years our organization has been supportive of the city and the county, the Mayor's Yard of the Month, efforts that are happening next year, and I missed it. I missed the deadline to resubmit this year. I had been watching for an email from the city where the other correspondence for last year's report had come, and I missed the ball. So I apologize. The fact that Keep Paris Beautiful is not on your list is not an indication that we don't support this city and everything you do. I have to answer to my board now that I missed it, and I know rules are rules. I know because I missed the deadline that Keep Paris Beautiful missed out on receiving grants this year. We used the money you gave us last year for great things. I hope you guys have seen us give out cards for the Yard of the Month and tire collection and glass recycling. So we're not on your list this year because I messed up, but you will see us here next year. So I appreciate that. I just want to explain why we weren't there, and I'll do a better job next year, and you'll see me on that list for Keep Paris Beautiful. Okay?
Thank you, Ms. Crawford, and we appreciate what you do and your board. I'm sure they're forgiving. We all make mistakes. Anyone else wishing to address the council? Seeing none, the public forum is now closed. Item number 3, receive presentations from nonprofit agencies requesting funding for public purpose. Rank agencies for priority. Discuss and act on request. Staff?
Mayor Pro Tem, members of council, good evening. We're here tonight to review the applications for participation in the city's nonprofit assistance program for the upcoming fiscal year. If you remember July 25th at our last council meeting, you opted to hear presentations from the organizations, and that's what we're doing here tonight. Since the 25th meeting, we've received 2 new applications. One is CASA, and the other one is the Lamar County Humane Society. Would refer to the ordinance, or sorry, not the ordinance, the policy on page 2, number 10. The city attorney must provide an affirmative opinion that the use of funds as listed in the application appears to qualify as a public purpose and that the services be provided by the nonprofit meet the requirements of the Texas Constitution and this policy. So staff recommendation would be to move forward pending the approval of the city attorney who's out this week. While some of the nonprofits did talk to staff and we did consult with them, we did not assist them while preparing their application. Therefore, none of the entities received any unfair advantages. The dollar amount in the budget is $100,000. The applications that we have, totaling 12, is $139,000. So there will be some work on part of the council to determine where the funds go and to keep it within budget. After the presentations tonight, council will have an opportunity with the scoring sheet that is in front of you to rank the organizations, 1 being the highest and 12 being the lowest, and you'll rank them into consideration. We'll look at your scoring after that and then make determination as far as the funding. If there are any specific questions regarding the regulations, the policy, staff is here to answer those questions. If there are any questions regarding any of the applications that you've reviewed, staff is here also to answer those questions. Before we start, I would just, one of the applications we did receive today, just for clarification, it is the CASA application. I was able to speak to Executive Director Clint Hokut. In the total operating budget, they had put $10,000. That is the operating budget for that particular line item. Their total operating budget is considerably more than that. It's $454,000. So if the 25% confuses you, that's why the math may not add up. So that should clarify that. If there are any questions at this point, I will be happy to answer. If not, we'll move on. And Mayor, you have a list. The alphabetical order is the rule of the evening on your sheet. They're listed in alphabetical order, presentation, alphabetical order as well.
And I should also add, obviously, we did receive the two late today. The city council had brought in two late at the July meeting there, so we've assumed that you want to bring these two in here tonight. Otherwise, you could vote otherwise to not include them tonight. So, but that's what the council decided. But we can proceed assuming that you want them to be part of this process also. But otherwise, our policy, they would be ineligible. But since we brought the other two in late, we assumed you want these two added too. So.
Well, I think we've set a precedent of by previously accepting two organizations late, that we should go ahead and accept the other two. But I think going forward, perhaps we need to do a better job of advertising the date that it's due and then accept that date as the deadline, and be more fair to the ones who do get it in on time. But certainly go ahead and consider all those late entities this year. We have a very generous community, and our community is made better by all of our nonprofits. So,
Unless
want
there's
me
any
to call
questions,
them up?
I will yield to the presenters.
all right, is there any questions or before?
Just one quick question. You said 139 versus 100 budgeted, correct? 139
Correct, yes.
ask and 100. Okay. And we don't, like last year, we don't have that extra buffer of a little bit more budgeted, do we?
I think it's safe to assume no.
I mean, like last year,
Yeah.
we didn't have the extra 5, but in our policy, it was that tiebreaker type option there, and so we can make that happen. And so, but otherwise, we budget $100,000 in the proposed fiscal year 22-23.
Understandable.
So do we need to make a motion to include the other two, because we did with the other two late entries?
I mean, it's not
No.
necessary to do a motion. We don't require that. I think if there's a consensus, we will go forward. I mean, motion is obviously clear, and but if there's consensus, we'll just move forward with them.
And you did clear those latest two as eligible?
Again, as Assistant City Manager Vine said, Ms. Harris is not here today. She's on vacation today, so we've not had an attorney opinion on those. So if you were to authorize funding, we would just say subject to attorney opinion. Having seen the applications myself today, I'm assuming they're probably similar to last year's. Both of them did funding last year, and they were both public purposes last year. So I'm assuming it'd be the same there. So I guess it would be clear if you did motion to include those two. That way it's just clear cut if you did the other two. That would be best, I would say.
I'll make a motion to accept the other two that have applied today.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no.
I have questions.
Okay.
I have a question. I wasn't here last year. This is my first time doing this. So with the two that were late today, was it a certain time for them to, was it 5 o'clock, 3 o'clock? Was it a certain time for them?
A date.
It was over a month ago that
Okay,
the
so,
dates were due.
The deadline was May 31st.
Oh.
okay, so the deadline was May 31st. They turned theirs in today, right?
Yeah, two today, and we had two about a month ago.
Okay, was the two, this lady, I'm new at this, was she one of the two?
No.
So,
She didn't turn one in. She's just
Someone did at all.
apologizing that she was late.
yes, I understand that.
She's not
So-
asking for money this year.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, 2 was late, why can't she fill out the application now? That's
Yeah.
just my opinion.
Technically, 4 were late,
Well,
but
4.
yeah, so.
I mean, I'm just saying,
Just like other things that people are late on, there's stuff that staff has to do, like applications to boards and commissions,
Right.
that staff has to do to make sure that they're qualified.
Right.
And
so you're saying she
we can
can't fill out
accept
one?
one at 7 o'clock tonight, but we wouldn't be sure they're even eligible.
Yeah, we hadn't received an application yet or documents supporting information, the financial information. So we would be accepting it without having all the supporting documents that go with that.
Okay.
So,
All right. Let's start with Boys and Girls Club. Thank you, Mr. Vine.
I need to recuse myself.
My name is Jason Machi, Executive Director, Boys and Girls Club of the Red River Valley. Thanks for having us. So, don't want to assume everyone understands what we do, so quick rundown. We do sports, football, cheer, volleyball, basketball, and indoor soccer, all run through the club. Almost 100 kids playing football this year, which is double where we were last year. So, we're filling the place. The biggest portion of what we do, though, is after-school program, and we do it in a big way with a charge of $60 per kid per school year. 140 to 160 kids a day get off a bus, come into our club, get broken up by age groups, and rotate around through different program areas: art, sports, social recreation, education. And all that's, great. It's been a bedrock in the community for years. What we've started to grow is our additional projects that come with additional costs. Programs like Passport to Manhood, Smart Girls, Money Matters, financial literacy classes, career launch, Power Hour, Triple Play, and even the computer-based Exact Path are really where we're focused now. Every kid should have an opportunity to go through every one of those programs. In the past, we've had to target certain groups that we wanted to get those opportunities. And the question of why to support this project, research shows for every dollar invested in quality after-school, $3 is saved in the long run. Quality after-school programs keep kids more engaged at school. The longer they're in school, the less likely they are to drop out, become engaged in the criminal justice system. Those savings are real now or later. And they're more likely to go on and pursue higher education. There's the incidental benefits as well. Kids are safer when they're supervised by an adult. Many of our kids would go home to an empty house as young as first grade. So we enjoy the fact that parents trust us with their kids, and we can keep them safe for them. It also helps working families. Moms can stay at work longer, dads can stay at work longer, more money, more financial stability in the home, a better life for each of those kids. And we focus on nutrition and exercise. We provide them with a third meal for the day, each and every day. We make sure they get at least 30 minutes of physical activity. They're up and moving, not sitting on a couch. And then the social emotional development that has been critical coming off of COVID. Kids need to interact with kids their age. They need to have an opportunity to be kids with someone watching over their shoulder in case they need a little help right now. So we fill that role on a large scale. And again, this is, in my mind, an investment in our kids and in our community. It's money that is going to save the community money in the long run and benefit each and every one of the kids that come to the club. Any questions? I'm trying to be brief, I promise. I could talk for hours, I try not to.
Thank you. Any questions?
Excellent,
Appreciate what you do.
thank you.
Mhm. I've had a question. I realize our attorney's not here. If a member on the council is on a board of one of the nonprofits, should they recuse themselves from voting on that one? I don't know how that would work.
I think it'd be safer if they did recuse themselves. Obviously not having spoke with Stephanie, you'd be safer if you recused yourself on that one.
Okay.
So how would that go? Just for clarification purposes, because I know we're involved in various organizations, could we just strike through on the grading sheet, or Would we
Yeah,
just put
I
an
would
R
just
as
say-
recused? I mean, I just want to be fair and want to
Yeah,
make sure.
I'd say don't grade that one if you're in that board, and then when it comes time to, as we're going through the order, you just announce you're accusing yourself, you have a conflict of interest, and you'll step out, and when we get to that one.
We didn't do that last year.
This is my best advice to you.
On the boys, and this the first time the Boys and Girls Club have applied?
No. Well,
Yeah.
Boys and Girls Club, yeah, but there's some others.
I know I got prior to that, but this is our first application for
But there's others that applied last year, and Stephanie was here, and no one recused themselves.
That's my best advice for you. I'm not your attorney, but I can contact Ms. Harris, see if I can catch her on the phone if you like, if you want to keep hearing presentations. I'll do that real quick.
Okay, thank you very much. And we'll move on to the Children's Advocacy Center.
Is it CASA for kids?
They're in alphabetical order.
Oh,
That's the way I'm calling
okay.
it.
No problem.
Good.
This is
Oh,
a
hi.
couple of-
They didn't make the list because they didn't turn it in.
In that case, then, I want to make sure, just for the record, I know we're getting legal precedence on this, but I am on the board for CAC, so if you would like for me to step out, I can.
I don't think it's necessary.
Okay, well, I'll just hang out then.
What is
And
it? Children's, is this the Children's Advocacy Center or
Yes.
CASA?
This is a CAC.
Okay, good.
I'm calling them in alphabetical order. If I leave somebody out, let me know, because the
On
late
this
ones aren't on my
sheet,
list.
not. On this sheet, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure.
Well, it didn't get on this sheet because they were late.
Yeah, but on the little handout that we've got, that we score them on, it's
Uh-huh.
in alphabetical order.
But Children's Advocacy Center isn't on here at all.
Yeah, it is.
It
It's
is.
the third
It's on there.
one.
Oh, okay, I see, they're going by letters. I
Yeah.
was going by letters.
Yeah, see, it's on
CAC
there.
would be before CASA.
I got you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, good evening. I'm Rebecca Peavy. I'm the Executive Director of the Children's Advocacy Center. First, want to thank you for funding us for the past many, many years. Your support is crucial to our success. So for those who aren't aware of what we do, our mission is to provide hope, healing, and justice to child victims of crime in Lamar and Red River counties. We do this two ways. We first bring all the agencies together that are working the child abuse investigation. So all of local law enforcement, Child Protective Services, District Attorney's Office, juvenile probation, mental health professionals, and medical professionals, to we're all working the child abuse investigation as a team. The second piece is that we are the child-friendly facility that children go to get the critical services they need as they're going through the child abuse investigation. Namely, things like a child forensic interview where a child is able to sit down and tell their story of what happened. Therapy, which is designed to help deal with the trauma of what happened. The forensic medical services, if they need to see a SANE nurse or have medical exams for physical injuries, things like that. So we're the place that children come to do those services. By doing this, we give kids a voice and help them find hope and resiliency from what has happened to them. The Children's Advocacy Center is the model of the way that child abuse investigations are worked in Lamar County, and we're actually the only nonprofit in Lamar County that is written into the Texas Family Code to be a part of the criminal justice process, the child abuse investigation. For us to do our services, a report has to be made to either local law enforcement or Child Protective Services. So because they're the investigating agencies charged with this investigation, we're the nonprofit that partners with them, though, to do our services. I've given out a report, our annual report for 2021, as well as a letter of support from the City of Paris, Chief Salter, talking about how we partner with the City of Paris along with other local law enforcement, our Child Protective Services, and our DA's office. So you can read through what our numbers have been from last year. So far for this year, we have served over 180 children. And again, we just serve Lamar and Red River counties. Obviously, Lamar is our biggest county. So 180 kids here have been a part of a child abuse investigation. We will use our funding from the City of Paris to meet the operating expenses that our normal grants will not cover. And then we have 2 historic buildings in Paris, and we use the funding as well to help maintain and upkeep those buildings. As I know you are aware, old buildings can be a little costly. We are requesting $15,000 this year, and again, we appreciate everything you do to support us. Do you have any questions?
I think I received a wonderful tour of your facility last year, and certainly appreciate what you all do.
Thank you, and we're happy to take anyone else through a tour of our facility.
Thank you, Ms. Peavy. CASA?
I'm Clint Hookutt. I'm the new director at CASA. I was one of the late guys, so I apologize. I've been there for 3 weeks, and I did not know about the deadline until yesterday. So I worked frantically this morning to get our grant in. So thank you for hearing me and supporting us in the
Can you
past.
move a little bit closer to the mic?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry. A little nervous, too. I'm not used to giving these presentations like everybody else is. So
We don't bite.
not so good. We did ask for $5,000 from the city this year to provide parenting classes. CASA for Kids stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocates. We recruit and train volunteers to speak for children in their child abuse cases. So these parenting classes would help reunify families in the community and make stronger families. Sometimes those children go back, sometimes they are adopted. But we serve, right now we have 58 open cases with a total of 82 children. So that's a potential of 162 parents that could benefit from this. That number is fluid and it will grow through the year, and our numbers will increase as the school year starts because we get more referrals in. It's a very important service that will benefit our community. I think y'all have supported us in this for the past 10 years from the best that I could do in looking back in our records. So for that $5,000, $3,500 of that is going to be to buy new curriculum. We have the same curriculum that we've had since 1980, and that needs to be updated. I was looking at different programs today, and I found some that could be tailored to specific needs for specific children and specific issues in families, which will be greater benefit to that family. I think the only other people that provide parenting right now is the Parish Pregnancy Center. And so we would probably try to alternate times when they do. Like if we need to do this after hours, 5 to 6, we want to eliminate any barriers that a parent can have to appropriately raise their child in parish free from abuse or neglect. So any questions about that? Awesome.
Next year I won't talk as quick and as with the quiver in my voice. I'll have it more together. Thank y'all.
What was your name again?
Clint Hookutt. Yes, I took over from Miss Sharon Eubank. She's been there for 28 years, so. She does have some health problems, and she was not able to communicate to me that the deadline has passed, so that's why we missed it. It's not intentional or disrespectful in any way. I'll be on time next year.
Do the courts ever require parenting classes?
Yes, ma'am. And it's a standard operating procedure that when they get a plan of services that becomes part of that court record, that they have to do, drug testing, a psych evaluation, parenting classes, those sorts of things. So and we have MOUs from all the judges that recommend the CASA parenting courses. So, yeah, they utilize us, and we want to provide the service and continue to provide it.
Okay, thank you, Clint.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, y'all too.
City Square?
I've got it timed out to 5 minutes, and hopefully this will work the way it's supposed to. You're going to see a video playing while I'm speaking. This is Rochelle Hodge. Rochelle is our board chair, our advisory council. And I wanted just to kind of let you see what's going on at City Square. Mayor Pro Tem, council members, thank you for your time. We thank the city for their efforts in making this possible for us. I want to tell you just a little bit about what your money did last year. The $11,250 you provided for us provided 36% of our utilities for our campus last year. That takes in the gymnasium, the fellowship hall, and the church proper. We are blessed in many ways. And this last year is no exception. We have had exponential growth in our programs, and I want to share with you some of the statistics you have in front of you, but just to give you a parallel, When you look at 2017, when City Square began, the intent was to fight the causes and effects of poverty through service, advocacy, and friendship. Our mission hasn't changed at all the last 5 years. Last year alone, in 2021, since that was part of the funding year, we saw 530 families through City Square who took 751 showers and received 471 loads of laundry washed. In addition to that, they received over 4,000 pieces of clothing. 233 teens took advantage of our after-school program, and we served 1,500 meals. All of this is free to anyone that comes through our doors. In addition, we offer GED and ESL classes in cooperation with the junior college. And in the last 7 months of this year, just to give you a parallel, 553 neighbors have come to us, families have come to us, 726 showers, and you see the numbers. One thing I would point out, we now serve breakfast and lunch from 9 until 3:30 every day, breakfast till about 11, and lunch begins shortly thereafter. We've served 5,100 meals already, and we're projecting to serve somewhere in the neighborhood of 10,000 before the month is over, or the year is over. The impact on our neighbors is significant in making the fight for poverty ever more challenging. Our doors have remained open throughout it all, and especially in the warming times when we would open as a warming station. We have also been blessed with a number of grants, and we're like all of our other nonprofit friends. We rely on grants to keep our doors open. This particular floor that you just saw is our new $67,500 floor that we're very proud of. That was done with a grant and an individual donation here in our community, as well as allowing us to update our gymnasium. It's a snowball effect. With the gymnasium upgraded now, we're going to be able to add an ADA shower. Construction began today. We're going to add double our washers to 2 washers, 2 dryers. In addition to that, we have a grant to renovate our kitchen, and that's going to be a great addition to our facility. We just finished Saturday a $180,000 addition, or should I say renovation of our roof. And we've been very blessed with that new roof, because that shows to you our long-term commitment for our community to serve in our location. Every day, Monday through Friday throughout the school year, much like our friends at the Boys and Girls Club, PISD drops 13 to 18-year-olds at our door. We provide them a free snack. We provide them a warm meal. If they have food insecurities, we have a grant to take care of that as well, so no child goes home hungry. And we have a really good cook, I would tell you. We call her our chef. Over the past year, we've had 13 different organizations use our facilities, including the City of Paris with a summer camp. We have Young Life. We have Girl Scouts, Lamar County Council of Community Services, and several others. 80 volunteers helped out putting together 280 Thanksgiving, 250 Christmas meals to go last year. We began our senior bingo again after a 2-year hiatus, as are we starting our mentor-mentee program with the Paris schools so that we can match kiddos up with an adult that wants to make a difference in their life. Over 30 different groups have come to City Square to help out, whether it's sorting clothes, helping with an activity, helping us serve, clean up, and a variety of other things which have impacted our neighbors. Today, let me just thank you again for the donation that you've made in the past, the investment you've made in the lives of people who need friends just like you. I would ask that you consider helping us with our utility bills again this year. We got one the other day that was $1,900 for electric bill. I kind of shuddered a bit. But I also invite you to come along and partner with us. Be a volunteer. If nothing else, cheer us on. Life has changed, but our mission hasn't, and we appreciate what y'all do for our city day in and day out. I know this is 2 nights in a row y'all have been behind the dais. Thank you very much, and I'll be happy to answer any questions, and I appreciate two of our council members are very much an integral part of our City Square family, as I do have several of our board members with us tonight as well. Any questions, Madam Mayor?
Good job.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
East Texas Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse. Oh, okay. We'll move to Lamar County Human Resources Council.
Good evening. My name is Shelley Brazil. I'm the Executive Director of the Lamar County Human Resources Council. Our agency is a little different because we have multiple programs under our umbrella, the two largest being Meals on Wheels in Northeast Texas, as well as Horizon House Transitional Shelter. So I'll try to keep it under my 5 minutes, but I want to hit on both of those so you kind of have a good idea of what we do. Meals on Wheels, of course, is a national program. We operate it in 5 counties, with Lamar County being our largest. I will tell you that so far this year, we have already provided 120,000 meals to individuals that are 60 and older, and those are elderly individuals, but we also have programs that provide them to individuals that are disabled, who are under 60 years of age, and to veterans 18 and up. So we try to eliminate as many barriers as possible with most of our programs. As long as you are 60 and older, it doesn't matter how much your income level is. It does not matter if you have a spouse living with you. If you are in need of a meal, we will provide that meal. These are hot, nutritious, noontime meals delivered by volunteers and staff, and they meet the 1/3 of the daily requirement for those individuals as well and are certified by a dietitian. In addition to the hot noontime home delivered meal, we also have 4 senior centers, 2 of which are in Lamar County, both in the Paris city limits. One is the Washington Center and one is Chakota Center. This is an opportunity for seniors to get out of the house and have that social interaction that they need. Senior suicide is probably a far greater issue than most people realize across our country, and COVID has certainly made that worse. They feel isolated, and so the contact with our staff, the contact with others in their age group, it definitely decreases that likelihood, makes them feel cared for, loved. We also provide twice a week. We call our clients, every single one of them, and ask them how they're doing. That social interaction is huge for these individuals because for most of them, we are the only people that they see and talk to in a week, a month, and even as much as a year. So Meals on Wheels is an extremely vital program that we offer, that we have been offering for decades. Our agency has been in operation since the 70s. And so we hope to continue to be able to do that and provide whatever services are needed in the community. In 2020, we took over management of New Hope of Paris, now dubbed the Horizon House Transitional Shelter. This is a shelter that provides a 2-year program for men, women, and families with children in the home. And I will tell you that we do anywhere from 700 nights in a month all the way up to 1,200 nights in a month. We typically have between 30 and 35 people that are living there on average. However, last summer we got up to 50. And again, this is for men, women, and families with children in the home. That does kind of separate us from a lot of shelters. Most shelters are one or the other. We do our best to limit as many barriers as possible for these individuals that are coming in and take as many as we can, but we never turn anyone away. We always try to provide other services. So even if they are not eligible to come into our shelter, then our staff works hard to find them someplace else to go, even working with other nonprofits to provide transportation, hotel stays, and things like that. We want to make sure that we are helping as many as we possibly can. And the support from the city continues to allow us to do that. It's investment from your side, keeping these individuals off the street, giving them a place to be. We provide all the tools that they need to be successful and not have a repeat occurrence. So that's the gist of it. We really appreciate the support that we get from the city. You guys are amazing. We've been partnered with the city for a very long time, and we appreciate any amount that we receive from you. So thank you. Questions? Okay.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Shelley. I didn't know about the phone calls, 2 phone calls a week to every one of your clients. That means a lot to them, I'm sure. Lamar County Humane Society.
Thank y'all. We're one of the agencies that were late, and I want to apologize for that. I'll take total responsibility for that. We changed the way last year that we did the funding, and I was sitting there, and dumb me thought I'd get an email, and I didn't, and I've read it in the paper. Luckily, I read the paper, but thank y'all for considering us. What we're here to ask for, I'm Keith Flowers, the president of the board of Lamar County Humane Association. I've got Stephanie Corley, who's a board member and our former shelter liaison,
Dr. James O'Brien, who's a vet here that partners with us. Wally Kraft was supposed to be here, but he got a call and said he had a horse sick at Pattonville. He'd be here when he got here. What we're here to ask for funds for is the SNP program. SNP is an acronym for Spay and Neuter in Paris. In actuality, the SNP program was something that was started by the city of Paris and Dr. Kraft over a decade. Sue Lancaster was mayor pro tem. Mrs. Lancaster and Wally Kraft put this program together. I think this is the 11th year that we've done the program. What basically it is we have multiple clinics a year where citizens of Paris and Lamar County can come in. They need to have skin in the game. They pay $30. For the $30, they get a voucher to go to a local vet, get a spay and neuter and a rabies vaccination for their animal. This allows people, and we do it at different events, but I get calls weekly of people wanting a voucher. I had an elderly gentleman who lives here in Paris who called me Sunday, and I carried him a voucher. He said, look, I live on $900 a month. I've got a dog. I can't afford to I need to get my dog neutered. It's the only friend I've got. So I actually went and bought him some dog food and carried him dog food and carried him the voucher. So this program is really, really beneficial. We have really, really good results with this. As we all know, pet overpopulation is a huge problem. The only way that we're ever going to solve this problem is to spay and neuter pets. Every pet that we spay or neuter is a call that animal control will not have to make, an animal that will not go into the shelter. So far to date, I've got some numbers, and these numbers have gone up. This is on the report that we submitted. As of July 1, we had done 384 spay and neuter operations and rabies vaccinations. We're probably, I would say right now, about 420. We'll do one more event. We'll be over 500 and actually the numbers we were consistently doing 550 or so before COVID. It took us a couple of years to build back up because the first event we had after COVID, people didn't want to come back out, but people are getting over that. We're doing more hand deliveries. Luckily, the city of Paris, when we started the program, was the only outside contribution we got. We have went to the county. The county is now contributing to help. We're trying to get the county up because it's open to anyone in Lamar County. We keep numbers. About 50% of the people are in the city limits. About 50% are outside. Dr. Kraft and Dr. O'Brien and I went to the commissioners and said, hey, look, y'all need to step up and help support this program. And the commissioners court that we've got now have been really good about doing that. We've asked for $15,000. The local vets, right now, the way that it works, the vets are doing it we're getting a tremendous, it's $100 for this surgery. As Dr. O'Brien can address this, I don't know how much longer they're going to be able to keep the price with the price of everything.
Prices are going up. Everybody knows prices are going up, so we're doing our best to absorb it because we know it's what's best for the community. So, and I hate to take away from what Keith said because everything he said is really important. But on the other side, the health aspect of this is that we're helping control disease. Some people may know we have a disease outbreak now, and we're working on that. And this is not only an opportunity to directly control the disease outbreak because we're removing those animals from the street out trying to mate and spread the disease, but it also gives us veterinarians a chance to screen for other diseases as they come in because a lot of these animals have never seen a veterinarian or had any care. So that while they may be coming in for spay or neuter, it allows us the chance to do a free exam and screen them for other diseases. Some of those diseases are zoonotic, which means they infect us and our kids. So I've caught probably at least a dozen within the last year that we've had to make pediatricians aware of. So there's a human health impact to this as well.
Like I said, we just want to thank y'all for y'all's previous support and hope we can continue this great program. Does anyone have any questions?
Oh, yeah, so any time of the year, a citizen can come up and pay $30 and get the voucher?
Yes. What we typically do is we'll advertise it. We do it at the fairgrounds. We'll advertise in the paper on eParis, and we'll have an event where we encourage them to come at the events. They can come up, pay $30. We'll have one of the vets, usually it's Dr. O'Brien or Dr. Kraft on site. They'll do vaccinations right there on site. We'll give the vouchers. They make an appointment. If someone calls when it's not an event, we tell them to either come by the humane office at the shelter or I'll go to them like I did with this elderly gentleman who didn't have a car. We don't just limit it to when these events are. If they call us, we'll make sure they get a voucher because it's in all of our best interest to get these animals fixed.
Good information. Thank you.
I know you guys are going through an outbreak, and man, just praying that we get through that, and just appreciate all the hard work you guys are putting forth to helping those pets.
We thank you, and we're hoping within the next couple of weeks that we'll have the distemper situation under control.
And I love the acronym. Whoever, Ms. Lancaster or Dr. Kraft, whoever came up with that, is clever.
It really is.
Snip and neuter in Paris. That would be STIP. Great.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Paris Optimist Club. Who has some world champions this year. World Series champions.
Hi, I'm Sabra Vaughn. I'm the Executive Director of the Paris Optimist Club, and I want to thank you for letting us come tonight and speak to you. We've partnered with the city for the last 5-6 years, and we appreciate all that you've done for us. Let me go forward. I'm going to go through these first slides. They're just kind of background on the club, but we are a member of Optimist International, an affiliate, which is a service club. And you can see, the good government and respect for the law, promotion of patriotism, that kind of thing. Our motto or mission is friend of youth, and try to train the youth to make good citizens, respect God and country, provide support and help with the needs of the youth, provide programs and activities for the youth, and of course, I think you all know our number one in that is youth recreational baseball. We do provide scholarships for graduating seniors, and we give every child who wants to play an opportunity. In fact, in 2022, the spring season, we did more financial aid, whether it was partial or full, than we have done ever since I've been there, and I've been there 5 years. So there is need. If a parent will come to us and ask if they can get some help, we will try to make it where they can play baseball. Just real quickly, here's the list of our current board members. And then the gate to our facility, the Charles Taylor Youth Complex. We have 23 acres of land, and there are 7 baseball fields out there. So let me just kind of go through this part. This is where I wanted to be different from last year. We're the only organization that provides recreational baseball in Paris. In fact, the only other recreational youth baseball program in Lamar County would be the Blossom Baseball Association that does Prairie Land. But we also cover all of the other school districts in our district. The registration fees do not cover the expenses to provide baseball or to improve or maintain our facilities. I'm going to go into more detail here in a moment on that. We do own the baseball complex. That is unusual. Most recreational leagues, the city or their county owns their baseball fields, and they're strictly just registration. We do they get the umpires, the scorekeepers, and that's it. We are continually improving. In fact, this last year with the city's funding, we put $20,000 with it, and we rebuilt one of our fields. In fact, the field had not been rebuilt since it was done in the 1980s when it was first put up. So we did everything, all new fencing, new dugouts, everything. So we try to put it back in where the kids actually get the benefit out of it. We also host Dixie youth baseball tournaments, and that will bring visitors to Paris. In fact, in 2022, it was the first time that we bid on and received the bid not only for regional tournaments, which we try to get and have in the past, but we got 3 state tournaments. So we had visitors coming from as far away as Cleveland, Texas, Splendora, Texas, and that's like 4 and 5 hours away from Paris. So obviously those people came, had to buy meals, had to stay in hotels. So let me just kind of go through this. It's a little bit different than what we've done in the past. So everybody says, well, don't you charge registration fees? Well, yes, we do. But when you take our income and expenses for spring baseball, income and expenses for fall baseball, and our income and expenses for our facilities. And I did this for a calendar year, so this is going to differ from what you were given for our financials. But for a calendar year, we are at $93,000 in the red. When you add in the things, some of the things that we do to make that up, we do advertising for fencing, we put advertising on teams' jerseys, and we do fundraisers. Some of those are tournaments that aren't Dixie tournaments. We have a $19,500 deficit. We did get 7 Dixie Youth tournaments, and when you add that in, we're down to a $3,250 deficit. And again, that was only the baseball and the facilities. But then when you look at everything, all of the money like that we get, we had the city money, we get other grants. And of course, then we have other expenses, the salaries, that kind of thing. Right now, or as of actually last Thursday when I ran this report, we were at a $119 profit. So I wanted to show that because when I come here with our fiscal year starting in October, you don't really see the whole picture because we did get fall ball registrations since those. We did have our tournaments in June. And so I wanted to kind of show you that this is how we actually make it, but that does include the funding from the city last year. And so we have begun to upgrade our ballpark. Bleacher covers on 5 of our 7 fields. We have new scoreboards, new score stands. We've rebuilt 4 of our 7 fields. We have 3 more to go. But if you've ever been out there, 75% of our parking lot is gravel. The way the facility is built, one end of the field is where our 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds play, and there's no restroom on that end. And of course, that seems a little odd, so we'd like to put a permanent restroom down there for those youngest players. And so, again, continuing to upgrade and do that. But the maintenance is also a big issue because our facilities are old, too. The original facilities were built out there in 1978. So, as far as how we're a public benefit, the city's Recreation Open Space Master Plan says that Youth Baseball League in Paris has slowly grown over the past few years and projected to continue to grow over the next 10. We're there. And the city needs to work closely with the Optimus Club. And then it goes on and talks about the health benefits for activities such as ours where the kids are getting out and with physical activity. So as far as program growth, in 2020, of course that was a bad year for everyone, we did play. We played late in the year after the governor said it was fine. We didn't just cancel. So we had 640 players that played. It says in spring, we called it spring ball. We actually played late summer. Because it was so late, we did not do fall ball that year. So in 2021, in the spring, we had 642 players, and then in last fall, we had 257 players. And this spring, we had 746 players, and we have 297 players registered right now in fall ball. Now, someone last year asked if the girls play at Woodall, and I said, yes, they do, and somebody asked how many. Now that we're using a computer system, I was able to get that. So you can see that we had 75 and 85 girls in our spring ball the last 2 years, and then 22 and 17 in the fall ball. So again, anything that y'all can do, we really appreciate it. We like to continue. We have lots of needs to continue to grow and to provide the program. A lot of people play baseball that don't play rec ball, but it costs a lot of money to do travel ball. And there just are a lot of children in our community that love to play baseball, but they can't be going out of town and paying entry fees every weekend. So we like the fact that we provide baseball to those players. And like we said, yes, we had the 6U Classic State Champion. We had the 12U Classic State Champion. We had the 7U State Champion, and that team went on to win the World Series this year. So we're very excited. I'll answer any questions that you have.
No questions.
Thank you so much.
Next one is Red River Valley DSS and the Reach Center.
Hello, my name is Chrissy Kreitz. I am the Executive Director for the Down Syndrome Society and Reach Center. And first of all, I would like to thank each of you for inviting us out and giving all the nonprofits an opportunity to share with you what we do for this community. I think it's very important that everybody in our city knows what we do here. So the Reach Center, for those that do not know, we are a nonprofit organization whose mission is to improve the lives of individuals with Down syndrome and other disabilities. We do that through education programs such as our Reach Center, where we have individuals coming after school, during school holidays. In the summertime, they are there from 7:30 a.m. until 6 p.m. This isn't your typical after-school program or child care facility. It is specifically for individuals with special needs, whether that be a Down syndrome, autism, intellectual disability, or just oppositional defiant disorder. We are actually the facility that is called upon after a child has been kicked out of every other daycare in town. So we also have many awareness opportunities that we do. Down Syndrome Awareness Month, we work with the community, and that's kind of where we're going with our funding this year, is the awareness piece of it. We have advocacy, where I work very closely with families, parents. I try to advocate for individuals, whether it be a 2-year-old or a 25-year-old that is needing assistance to find either it be a home or services from the community. I will try to do whatever I possibly can. And then, of course, support for those parents when they are told that they're either going to have a child with Down syndrome born, or they're being told when their child is 5 that they have just been diagnosed with autism. We are the ones that are called upon to help with those resources and those supports. So one of the things that we do that involves the city of Paris and our community is we believe in taking our kids on field trips. We don't keep them inside the facility all day, every day. We go out into the community. This is actually, we've gone to Oak Park and Wade Park. I was actually part of the team and asked to help with the new renovations of Oak Park and Wade Park, and helped giving input on some of those to make them more ADA accessible and easier for our kids. And as you can see in the first picture, one of the swings is loved by our kids. When you are a bigger child and you have autism, they love to swing. It's a sensory thing, and they can't fit in your typical swing. And so this is us. We probably go to Wade Park about 4 times a year, and then we are at Oak Park 2 to 3 times a year. It's a little harder to get them at Oak Park. It's a little smaller, and people like to go there a lot. But we utilize those parks very frequently. We involve police officers in what we do. We make sure that they are able to come out, and there's a very important piece to that. It's not just that our kids love to see police officers or people in uniform, but it's very, very important that our students know how to interact when they see a police officer, and vice versa. When officers are having to go to a home and work a domestic violence case, and there's a child there that has autism, and that child may be frightened and want to run from them, it is very important that those officers are aware of how to approach these individuals. Something that we are really working on is, I've spoken with my mind just went blank, I apologize. We want to work, it's Bulls.
Oh,
Officer
yeah.
Bulls.
Yeah.
Yes, where we are wanting to work with the police department. Just in the last year, there have been 7 individuals with disabilities that I'm aware of that have eloped from their home and have been found by police officers. I was called to the police department one of those times to see if I could identify a young man with Down syndrome that was found on the Southwest Loop at 1 o'clock in the morning. A lot of times they will automatically go to one of the local group homes and ask if that individual lives there. But this past year, of those 7 individuals that eloped, 4 of them were children that live at home with a mother. And elopement is a big concern for children with disabilities. They run when they're scared, they run when they want something, they run when they're not sure of something. And in the process of all of that, I'm trying to work with the police department on what they call a perimeter search. And there's a system already put together where when an officer is called to a location, they know, is there firearms, what is in this perimeter that could be harmful to us as an officer and anybody else that's coming into this area. So my hope is that somehow we can pinpoint those homes that our individuals live in and attach a photo somehow so that when they pull into that area, they can do a perimeter search and that picture of that child comes up and it tells them the address that they need to go to. We also let them see firefighters. When we bring the firemen out, they go into their full uniform. And the reason that we do that, we want them to know that if they see somebody dressed that way, you need to go to them. Don't run away. It's not a scary thing. We want them to know how important it is that if your house is on fire and these firemen come in and they're calling your name, please go to them. Let them help you. Let them help you get out. Our community helpers, we actually have a full week during the summer that we focus on the community helpers. And they come out. We have the sheriff's office, the firemen, the police department, EMS service. They all come out. And they're, as you can see, they try everything they possibly can to interact and engage with our kids, and they love it. So how does this all benefit Lamar County and the city of Paris? It's working with our families. We're continuing to give them the opportunities to learn about the community, to learn about the helpers in the community and what each one of them does very importantly, and that their jobs are very, very important. Our students begin to understand better about what those individuals do for our community, and then it also gives them a comfort when they do have to come in contact with these individuals. I remember a statement that was made last summer by one of our older students that the police I don't want to see the police. They come to my house. They took my mom and daddy away. Well, because the police came to their house during a domestic violence incident, and that's the only picture they had of a police officer. This year, he got to put on the bulletproof vest. He put himself in handcuffs, and he laughed so hard, and I actually let him be our helper when our officer walked through and talked to the individual classes after they got to play in the police car. Then it gives the officers and our community people an awareness of individuals with disabilities, how to better approach them, how to better interact with them, and not just them, but their families, and to help them with the support and things that they might need in those times where a child has eloped or, they've had to go to a scene for whatever reason, or an EMS having to go pick somebody up because of a health crisis. And then most of all, as I'd mentioned about the perimeter search, I feel like it's very important when I get a picture of a 7-year-old sitting in the back of a police car in his boxers from Officer, Mike at North Lamar. he had found this individual with autism this summer. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and he had no idea who he was. He was found on North Main. And I think it took about an hour and a half for them to finally locate the mother. And when it finally came through to me, I was like, I know exactly who that is. He comes to the center. I can tell you exactly where his house is. And so, you know, I think it's important that that child not have to sit there and wait and wonder, and especially when it's somebody that's nonverbal and they're not able to tell you where they live or what is going on or why they've ran away from their house. Thank you again for giving us all the opportunity to come here. I believe that without the city council and the funds for the city, that these nonprofits and myself, we would not be able to fully do what we would like to do. So again, I appreciate it. And does anybody have any questions?
No, but I think I've heard great things about the Reach Center.
Thank you very much.
I'm a center owner myself, and I also had the opportunity to work with special need kids for 3 years at North Lamar.
Yes.
And it takes special teachers and special people.
Thank you. The Texas Workforce Commission actually calls on me to do trainings for other child care centers in the areas to help with that, because we're a very, very unique program in what we do.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Chrissy.
Yes,
I
of course.
appreciate you. All right, Salvation Army.
Hello, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. Can y'all hear me? Do I need to lift this up?
Up a little bit, thank you.
Okay.
I can.
Sometimes, I don't know. So this year, we're requesting funding for our feeding program for our hot meals we serve. I'd like to just begin with a couple examples of the people that we serve. But first of all, on behalf of the Salvation Army and all the clients or customers that we serve, just like to say thank you so very much, because, you know, really, it'd be great if y'all could come down someday and just see how grateful and appreciative these people are to get a hot meal. I mean, like for instance, the single parent with 5 children who is the sole provider, has to work, probably spends most of their money on childcare. And also the diabetic person who doesn't have a lot of resources and sometimes has to choose between purchasing food or purchasing medicine. I think we all know about people like that we know. I mean, it may not be a family member, may not be a friend, may just be someone we heard about. So, yeah, just thank you very much. I mean, these customers of ours, these clients, they are so grateful and appreciative. And, you know, it just, I don't know, I get emotional because, I mean, we should be, you know, we tell them, like, God bless you, but a lot of times, even before we can say that to them, they say it to us. And you don't know just how much that means to us and how much that means to them, I'm sure. But, yeah, it's just so great to have that feedback from them and see that response from them. So, and we do our feedings. We have our evening meal Monday through Friday from 5 to 5:30. And then also on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we serve from a hot meal from 11:30 to 12. And, of course, we also have our bread line during that same time from 11:30 to 12, Monday through Friday. So those are very good things for the clients, for the customers. Now, a lot of times people have asked us, because of our mission statement, because a lot of people, even today, a lot of people don't know that the Salvation Army is a church. But one thing that we do not do is we do not discriminate. If you're hungry, we feed you. We don't say, oh, you have to come to this class, or oh, you have to do something else. No. All you have to do is come there to get the meal. There's no requirement that they attend any service or attend any class or anything like that. And all of us are aware of the food insecurity problems and various problems with having enough food. And we know that there are 27% of children in Lamar County that are living in poverty. And of those, 31% live in a single-parent household. So those are powerful numbers. And really it's sad, but that's just the way it is. But we're trying to do something to improve that and make the meals available. So this year, the Salvation Army is requesting $7,000 to have purchase food for hot meals. And we appreciate the funding we received from the city last year, $11,250. It has been a tremendous help to us, and we are very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
I had a quick question. Are you able to give us, and I know you're not asking for this funding, but I'm just curious. I know we've had a lot of exchange and conversation in regards to the emergency shelter, but are you able to give us a little bit of an update on where is that right now?
Well, right now, the sprinkler system is 100% done, and even after the sprinkler system was done, we had to have some insulation put on the water supply from the outside, and that was added expense we weren't expecting. But everything's done. The city has inspected it. Right now, we are in the process of contacting foundations and various funders to secure the funding for our first year of operations.
Good. I will tell you just real quick, I'm impressed with you. We have good leadership with Salvation, so thank you. I encourage you, please, 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 if you need help with that, let's get it. Our community really needs this emergency shelter open, and I know there's a great burden on your shoulders. I know it's hard, but man, I'm rooting you guys on for that. It's a great need, and we really need it. And you know, one thing, if I may point out, just as a revelation to me, looking at the list of organizations, every single one of these organizations, in some way, fashion, one thing that we've noticed is, what's the one commonality here? Children. And you said I believe 27% are in that poverty ratio there. That is huge. And that's a wake-up call to me to say, hey, we've got to figure out a way to fix this issue. So that emergency shelter is huge, and man, anything we can do, we need to figure it out. But kudos to you guys. Continue. That's huge. And I appreciate you guys taking on that endeavor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Major Watts. And wheeled workers. Wheeled workers is not, okay. All right. Mr.
United Way.
United Way.
Yeah,
United Way.
United Way, I'm sorry, Jenny.
We're going to have to change our name to something that starts with A. Good evening. I'm Jenny Wilson. I'm the Executive Director of the United Way of Lamar County. And as everyone has said, thank you for having us here tonight and listening to us, and for having this in your budget. That's very much appreciated. I also want to thank you for the funding you gave us last year. You gave us $11,250 for our rent and utility assistance program. And just like I did last year, I gave you the spreadsheets because I think it's important to look at the names and the families and why they were helped. Mihir just mentioned children. So our policy is you either have to have young children in the home or you have to be elderly, because these are the people who really can't take care of themselves. So as you read through the spreadsheet, you'll see line after line after line of 4 kids in the home, 3 kids in the home, 2 kids in the home. And it just is, I think it is eye-opening. Year to date, we have given out over almost $70,000 in utility assistance to almost 300 families. Those are unduplicated, not just for this year, but pretty much since we began this program in March of 2020. Year to date, we have kept 79 families in their home with rental assistance. We are committed to keeping these families safely in their home. We believe that families need to live with running water and electricity and gas, and they need to stay in their homes. You'll also see, if you look through the spreadsheets, that we often get referrals. I remember last fall at the start of school, I got a call from a counselor at Paris ISD, and the kids had come to school, and no one had known until they got to school that they'd been living without running water for months. And of course, a teacher is going to notice this right away. And so we were able to go in there and pay their bill and get those kids some running water, because it's bigger than just what happens in the home. I always think about all the kids who don't get to go to school because they cannot bathe, they cannot brush their teeth, they cannot wash their clothes. And so I often think that it probably inhibits a lot of these kids from getting an education. HUD does consider both rent and utility assistance eviction prevention. Mihir mentioned about needing an emergency shelter, and we do. But our first commitment is to keeping people in their homes. We don't want people to end up homeless. And so we've worked with these families, and we've worked with the landlords. And I have to say, a lot of times landlords get a bad reputation, and that's not the case with the ones I work with. They don't want to evict the family, and they are so grateful when we can give that rental assistance and keep those families in their home. You'll also notice I did something a little bit different with the spreadsheets this year, the utility assistance. I thought it might be sort of interesting to highlight how many times we've written a check to City of Paris. So, and since we got our check the end of last October, we've actually written over $13,000 to the City of Paris. To the water department. I know those ladies well. But we know how important it is to have that running water. And so we are asking again for $15,000 this year for our rent and our utility assistance. Again, to help these families more than anything, keep their dignity. And we all need to live with the lights on and the AC on and the water on and staying in our homes. So thank you so much. Do any of you have any questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
You said the utility assistance started in 2020.
Yes.
How long have y'all been doing the rental assistance?
Same time.
Okay.
So we started rent and utility assistance in response to COVID. We knew that a lot of families were going to be quarantined, and we were worried about those hourly workers who, if you're hourly, you're not going to get a paycheck. And so those were a lot of the people that we were helping in the beginning, was specifically people who were quarantined. We thought that was going to be a one-year program. We realized very quickly in 2021 we could not end it. People were too dependent upon it. We budgeted actually for 2022 $40,000 for utility assistance, and $50,000 for rental assistance. In June, we had already spent all that money, and so the board voted to raise it to $80,000 for utility assistance and $75,000 for rental assistance, and we're probably going to exceed that.
Yeah, I think I found out about it like 2 years ago, and I don't know how many people I've referred, to the United Way. It's a great organization and a lot of help to people.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, the phone rings incessantly, but we are happy that we can help so many families. All right, any other questions? Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Jenny. All right, wheeled workers again? No chance. I want to say before we move on to the next level is you see those signs, heroes work here. I think every one of you can be considered a hero in our community. Thank you. Mr. Path.
An opportunity to talk to Stephanie. And first off, we apologize. We don't keep track of all the boards you are on. So we do rely upon the council members to let us know which boards you're on. So we apologize. We will add a note next year that if in this process we will try to check with each of you, and when we get the applications, to know which boards you are a part of. But looking at our Article 2.04 Code of Ethics, if I were to figure out how this thing is scrolling here. Scroll down to
Let's assume. There you go.
There we go. First off, 2.04.005, conflict of interest. If any city officer or employee of the advisory board has substantial interest in a business entity or real property involved in any decision pending before such officer, again, under number 1, in the case of a substantial interest in a business entity, the action of the matter will have a special economic effect on the business entity that is distinguishable from its effects on the public. Obviously, giving funds will have that special economic effect. So back to the definition of substantial interest. Substantial interest is defined: a person has a substantial interest in a business entity if, C, the person holds a position of member of the board of directors or other governing board of the business entity. So yes, you will have a conflict of interest if you are on a board. You will need to recuse yourself. Obviously, the council enforces that upon yourselves. I cannot enforce that on you, but it'd be my advice that you would recuse yourself from voting on those items when it comes on those particular boards. So if I can ask, who here has a conflict on one of these boards? How many? So we have 3 there, so.
4.
4, I'm sorry, 4. So there are several options we can consider here. I was working on some options for you to consider tonight. We don't want this to negatively impact those boards when you're scoring, if you do decide to score. So there's only, in the few minutes that I had to think this over, what I might recommend, if you do go a route of scoring them, which when the scoring, how that works is you would go through the list and determine which one you individually think should be talked about first as a body. So if you think that nonprofit A should be considered first, you put a 1 all the way down to 12. And then we will take the combined scores, and we would then combine them and see who as a body scored first. And then that's the first thing you would consider for funding. For those that you have conflicts on, do not score that entity. What we will do, though, so as not to negatively impact the scoring, is I will put a neutral number. Since we have 12 entities, I'll put a 6. That way there is some number there. That's the only thing I can think of fairly at this moment here, given there's 12 entities, a middle ground 6. That way it's not too high, not too low. And so we will do that with those scores there. So just leave that line blank on the one you have a conflict there. The other option, as you did last year, you can look at a pro rata option. That was what the council did last year. We're not recommending that for or against that. Just if that was a consideration, you obviously could not vote as one motion for all entities on pro rata because your entity is in that motion there. So what we could do is if you decide as a body, as consensus, to do a pro rata, we could then tally the score. We could then calculate the pro rata portion per entity, bring that back to you here quickly, and then we can individually go through the first one, this amount, the second one, this amount, and when we get to the one that you are the board member of the board, you can recuse yourself from that particular vote. That's a way of handling the pro rata if you so wish to do that. So several options here. I'm open to more options here. Again, I apologize. Had we known that more members were on boards, we would have thought this through ahead of time. We will not make the mistake next year. So at this point, I think you need to decide whether you want to score your sheets. And if you do, put a 0 next to one that you have a conflict with, or you can do a pro rata option or some mixture of that. Otherwise, you can discuss what you've heard tonight too. But the danger is that if we discuss your board, you need to recuse yourself of that.
Yeah,
So-
I'm going to take the pro rata option and recuse myself.
Well,
When
I
that-
think
when
the pro
that
rata
organization comes.
Yeah, pro rata option, and then take it line by line. The recommendation when y'all bring numbers back to us, and just take it line by line, and we'll recuse ourselves when we get to our organizations.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense, and I mean, we did that last year technically, so,
Yeah.
except for the recusal
So
portion of it.
do we just need?
Well, I guess, is there a consensus for that? Again, our policy calls for scoring, and so, but again, that would mean some people would walk away without funding, and so, but the pro rata means everyone would take something back with them, and, but is that a consensus of the council?
Good with it.
Well, as I mentioned last year, I just, it would be disheartening for me to see any one of this organization leave without something. So, I think they all contribute to the community in a major way. We're all grateful for them. Again, I don't want any organization, nonprofit leaving here without some type of funding. That's just my thought process.
Do I need a motion for going pro rata?
No motion.
Okay.
Just consensus
I
there.
think consensus is to do that.
And what we will do now, if we can give a short recess, we will calculate those numbers and we will bring them back. And then you will vote on each entity with their number individually. And then when it comes time to that item, you will need to announce, I have a conflict of interest, I need to recuse myself, and then exit to the door over there and shut the door behind you.
Grace,
So-
I do want to note one thing, and I'm sorry, I think I need to put this out there. I mean, this is the first time I've seen this, and we've done this, 2 years now? Last year was our first year. We've had 2 organizations that didn't show up. Each and every one of these individuals showed up. And yeah, I agree, no one should walk away without anything. I get that. I'm not trying to be hard here, but I think in all due fairness, the board president should be able to show up, or someone should be able to show up from these organizations. And so I understand putting in an application. I mean, even Julia Trick Crawford showed up, and they didn't put in an application. So I just, in all due fairness to each and every individual here, we should look at that too. I mean, as a board, Ed Cotta and Wheeled Workers, I love them to death, but someone should have shown up, I feel like. I mean, this is money we're talking about here.
But if we're talking about doing the pro rata, that's going to be kind of null and void.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
But just putting that out there, I mean, I think we need to talk about fairness also in regards to showing up to present.
And I'm not saying not to consider that. I will say the policy we have doesn't require presentation. And so being here tonight was not a requirement. It was a request, but certainly if the council so chose to exclude those 2, then that's your decision, so.
But I did have questions. For instance, one organization, there's only a personal checking account, and the money the grant that we give them goes into a personal checking account. And so I had a question about that. So, I think attendance, while not mandatory.
Can I ask a question right quick? One of those organizations, when y'all calculate the numbers, are y'all going to separate all that? The personal accounts and?
Well, our recommendation on that particular entity is that if we were to approve them this year, we would require a condition that they separate the account. One from the personal, one from the entity itself.
Okay.
That'd be a requirement. So that would be my recommendation on that.
That is fine with
And,
Before a check is
And also
given.
too, the amount was greater than the 25% of the, again, our policy has taken a beating, but our policy talks for 25%. You can't not request more than 25%. So we would also take that into account. So it would be a lesser amount. So that'd be my recommendation on that particular entity.
Sounds good.
Which would be Wheeled Workers.
Okay.
Any
I'm
other
good.
questions?
I have none.
For
Consensus, I will proceed under
Yes.
that consensus, and so, and, again, I apologize for the confusion in all this.
I think it's fair to discuss that in the future to look in for next year. I mean, we were talking about evals earlier and trying to come up with different ways of doing things. I think maybe we can observe that, but we're new to this. I get it. We're trying to figure out ways to be better organized, and I think that's something we need to discuss, but I'm fine with that.
I think the old adage that no good deed goes unpunished
Yeah.
applies too, and so, and I
Absolutely.
mean, we're trying to do a good thing, using taxpayer money, trying to be wise about it, trying to make tough decisions, and it's hard to not let anyone walk away, but we can't just raise the taxes to fund everything that we wish we could, but again, there's a cost to the taxpayer to do that, and so, yeah. So I would just recommend a short recess, probably give us about 5-10 minutes, and we will be back, and we'll go through board by board by board, and from there, so, thank
Sounds
you.
good.
Sounds good.
I'll call a recess now, and we'll reconvene in 5 or 10 minutes, whenever staff is ready for us. It is 7:02. We're reconvening into open session after recess. Mr. Path.
All right, so what we prorated it off of the totals, the grand total. We've taken into account the things we discussed. So what we will now do is I will now go in alphabetical order, and we will do individually. If we come to an item that you have a conflict of interest, please announce that, recuse yourself, and please go to the executive council chamber. Then we will come and get you and bring you back for the next item. So, Boys and Girls Club of Paris. Oh, okay. Mayor Pro Tem Hughes has a conflict of
I have
interest.
a conflict of interest. I am a board member.
And Gary Savage has a conflict of interest. Okay. Again, we don't want to penalize people for being on boards. It's just there's this legal process we have to try to go through to be fair. So, with that, the amount is $7,384.02. So we would just need a motion to authorize that in a second, and
I will hear a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the Boys Club amount.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries 5-0.
we will wait for them to come back for the next one.
That calculation, that come from, how much are we giving? It's 100, right?
100,000
And there's,
Divided by 12?
divided by it's a pro rata based off the request, off the
Oh,
total.
the percentage.
Yeah, yes.
I got you. That's
Yeah.
even better.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what we did
I
last
gotcha.
year. Next is CASA. Any conflicts? Amount is $3,692.01.
What was that figure again?
$3,692.01.
All right, I'll hear a motion.
Make a motion to fund CASA for $3,692 as,
Second.
Second. Motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries 7-1.
Children's Advocacy.
7-0, I'm sorry.
Yep. Children's Advocacy Center, 11,000. Any conflicts? Okay. Councilmember Palmquist has a conflict. Okay. $11,076.04.
I'll hear a motion.
I'll make the motion to award Children's Advocacy Center $11,076.
76 and 4 cents. Yeah.
And 4 cents.
All right. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries 6-0.
The City Square, it sounds like Councilmember Savage has a conflict, and Councilmember Moore has a conflict. Same amount, $11,076.04.
I'll hear a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the amount of $11,676.04.
And 4 cents, yep.
For City Square. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries 5-0.
East Texas Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse at CADA. Any conflicts? Amount is $3,692.01.
I'll hear a motion
Make a motion.
and a second.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries 7-0.
Lamar County Human Resources Council. Any conflicts? $11,076.04.
I'll hear a motion
I'll make a motion to award that amount.
and a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries 7-0.
Lamar County Humane Society. $11,076.04.
I'll hear a motion
So moved.
and a second.
So moved.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Motion carries 7-0.
Paris Optimist Club. $11,076.04.
I'll hear a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries 7-0.
The Reach Center. $11,076.04.
A motion, please,
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries 7-0. Salvation Army,
Salvation Army. Any conflicts? $5,168.82.
I'll hear a motion.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries 7-0. United Way.
United Way. Councilmember Pankaj has a conflict. $11,076.04.
I'll hear a motion
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Motion carries 6-0. Wheeled Workers,
Any conflict for wheel workers? $2,530.87, with the caveat that it'll be separate bank accounts.
okay, give that amount again, please.
$2,530.87 with the condition that they will create a separate account for wheel workers.
Great.
So moved.
Motion and a second.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. 7-0 carries.
That is all.
Thank you very much. Item number 4 is adjournment. I'll hear a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Motion carries 7-0.